Welcome back to episode number 4, guys. Today we're going to be talking about college stuff. But before we get into that, welcome back to Candid Chats with CNC. I'm Colleen,
I'm Chris.
and yeah, let's jump into how we're doing, how this week went.
Yeah.
I am no longer a college student. I graduated on Sunday.
Yes,
So
you got that BA, right?
I did. I'm an
that
official
BA.
BA.
True.
So yeah,
true.
it was exciting. My parents came down for the weekend. All of my roommates' parents were here. I graduated at 9 in the morning on Sunday, so I had to get up at 6 a.m. So I was in my dress for 12 hours that day. So
that
was fun. Yeah, that was fun.
I would not want to graduate at 9 o'clock in the morning.
It was rough. I got in the car with a piece of pizza and a cake pop and a shot and was like, did someone order a graduate?
Wait, like the morning of or the after?
The morning of, on the way to graduation. I was in my cap and gown and everything, and I had a plate of food and I had a Sex on the Beach shot and was like, we're doing it. We're here.
That's funny.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, then I woke up like on Friday when everyone started coming here, was super sick. The last episode, my voice was cracking in and out a little bit when Kat was here, and that was kind of the start of it. I went to the Minute Clinic at CVS on Friday. They were like, oh, you have a viral infection. Like, we can't give you antibiotics or steroids or anything. There's nothing we can do. The lady literally told me to put pepper in my coffee because an Indian told her to do that once and to hope for the best. And sent me on my way.
Did you do it?
No.
I feel like you should have done it just to see what would happen.
No, I did. Okay, I did the next day buy like one of those ginger immune shots, and it had ginger, turmeric, and pepper. So,
okay.
But yeah, I kept getting worse, and then like I didn't have a voice pretty much all day Saturday. I didn't talk for like 12 hours. Like she advised me to like talk as like little as possible. And my parents came here Saturday, and I woke up Monday morning. My eye was crusted shut. I literally had to get a hot washcloth and put it on my eye to then like get it to open up. And it was like all goopy and red and gross. And I felt like I had been hit by a truck. And I think it was because I had to get up at 6 a.m. I didn't get much sleep the whole weekend. So I was like, I'm gonna go to urgent care. So I went to urgent care. They put me on antibiotics. They put me on steroids. I have eye drops. I have an eye infection. I have a severe sinus infection. And they were like, yeah, they should have given you this stuff at CVS. Like, you're bad enough to where you need the antibiotics and stuff. So yeah, it was a long weekend, but I'm excited to be done. I feel like I can chill out a little bit. So now I'm just in the bulk of writing my book, which is exciting, but
yeah,
fun stuff.
Fun, not fun being sick, but fun, interesting. Keeps you on your toes, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, but you're feeling better now. You look great, so that's what matters. All is well. I have had a pretty good week. Not a ton of big things happening, but we celebrated our friend Rachel's birthday this past weekend. Her birthday was on Monday, but all of us coworkers and friends got together on Saturday, had a big party. That was fun. And then also my friend Bailey came to visit. He was in my fraternity at Ohio State. So he came in and flew in on Friday and then flew out on Sunday. But since weird things are happening with COVID, that like he flew Southwest because he had like credits and stuff, but usually they're direct flights from DC to Columbus, but they haven't had a ton, which I mean, you've experienced that.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he had to fly from Columbus to Atlanta and Atlanta to here.
Well, that's like 5 hours of flying, depending on how long your layover is.
Well, right. And so his flight was delayed from Columbus to Atlanta, and he only had like 30 minutes in between.
Oh God, that's the worst.
So he ran in the Atlanta airport, I was like, that is a place that
you have to. Yeah,
I
it's
know.
huge.
You always have to, but he was like sprinting because he was the last person on the flight.
Of course.
I was like, that is, but then he left here, everything was fine. And then he had to fly from here to Orlando and Orlando to Columbus. And his flight in Orlando got delayed 5 hours. Yeah.
Oh no.
Like
That
he did
sucks.
not touch down in Columbus until 1:30 in the morning on Monday.
And that sucks because that's such a quick weekend, and he spent like a good part of it traveling.
On the airport, yeah. In the
Yeah,
air
like
and on the airport, yeah.
yeah, well, like
That's a lot.
um a little foreshadowing. Our next episode, we will be in person for the first time.
Yes.
So we're super excited about that. Katerina and I are officially flying out to DC for Memorial Day weekend, and I was on the phone with Southwest for 2 hours yesterday trying to get our flights changed.
Yeah.
um, because Katerina's a ding dong and forgot that her brother is graduating on Friday because we were
Yeah.
gonna fly out Thursday.
Sorry,
But
'cause, your sister
yeah,
doesn't know things about you.
yeah. But we were gonna when we were flying together, we decided to pick a cheaper option, and we were like, we'll fly into Nashville, have a layover in Nashville, we'll be together, it'll be fine. But then she switched her flight to Saturday, and I called my mom and I was like, I really don't want to do a layover. Can we pay the extra $50 and I fly straight there? Because I've never been to the Nashville airport before. And
Mhm.
it literally would have been like a 5 hour flight with nonstop, it's an hour and 10 minutes.
It's
And
not even an hour and 10 minutes. I've
yeah,
never spent more than an hour in the air.
yeah. And she was like, yeah, go, it's $50. Like, go ahead. And I was like, thank you. So
Does Cat have
yeah.
layover?
No, so since I got hers changed, for some reason on Saturday the flights are like relatively cheaper. So
Oh,
she had to pay $2 extra than what she already paid for it to be a nonstop. And then we're flying together nonstop on Tuesday.
that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
So and we're
But yeah,
flying out like really late Tuesday, but that's good.
yeah.
So
But yeah, so that's what I did this weekend. Other than that, did some new employee orientation for work. I've been working at the same place for 7 months, but we just now, since COVID happened, and with us being a national organization and us trying to work with different states and stuff, like it just so happened that everything had to be different and change and everything. So that's what happened. But something did happen yesterday evening. I received an Instagram DM from someone that is from relatively close to our hometown, and I went to college with him. And he randomly messaged me and said, "Hey man, what's up?" And of course, I was like,
no context.
um, "You tell me." I mean, we haven't talked in a while, so I
Yeah.
don't know. And replied, and then actually come to find out, he was messaging me because he knew that I was friends with Colleen. And he says that this may seem odd, but I saw that you're good friends with Colleen Finney. Misspelled her last name. I give
Rude. The
you.
disrespect.
And he was wondering if she was single and wanted to know details about her.
So
And then
weird.
proceeded to ask other questions and things, and then final question was, how tall is she? And I said she's around 6 foot. No response after that.
That's my favorite part.
Sorry,
That's my
Colleen.
favorite part. Don't be. Like I was when he was telling me this before this, I was like, this is the first time in like probably over a year that I'm like, I'm not gonna entertain anybody. Like I've had a overwhelming urge to be single over like the past 6 months. So I'm finally listening to it. And it's been nice only having to worry about myself, especially with graduating and everything. So I was like, of course, when I'm finally like, no, I'm gonna be a single Pringle, like, and do my own thing. Now freaking men are looking for me. Like what? Love how that works.
Listen, I gave you an opportunity for me to shut it down when I tried to call you, but you didn't answer. So this
Not
is your
my fault. I was taking a
this is
nap.
your problem. I told him to shoot his shot and message you on Instagram.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if he does message me on Instagram. It'll be really funny if because I'm 6 foot, he never even reached like that was it. That'd be
Yeah,
so funny.
yeah. Guess we'll find out.
Yep. Only time will tell.
Yeah. But speaking of college
Mhm.
and knowing people from college, that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
So,
We are both alumni now. So we've had the full experience of living in dorms and transferring and going to school during a pandemic. So yeah, we wanted to tell some of our stories and hopefully give you guys some advice if you are in high school or a freshman in college trying to figure it out.
hmm Or even those that are getting ready to graduate and try to find a job. I
Hmm.
mean, it's weird. We've talked about it before. It's weird now. It's always weird. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Well, and, like, it hasn't, like, I mean, I graduated Sunday, but, like, I literally turned in my last 2 assignments Saturday morning. So I didn't have that, like, break of, like, absorbing the fact that I was graduating. I was sitting in Rupp Arena in Lexington in my cap and gown waiting, and I was like, "This feels surreal." Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like this is happening. And, like, not that I don't feel like I graduated, I kinda do, but, like, I think movies and, like, society hypes up graduating so much that I was almost
Right.
like, "This is it?" Like, I don't wanna I don't wanna make people, like, be
Not
like, "Really?"
degraded or anything.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
but, like,
awesome, but
I was expecting a little bit more, and then once my family left and everything, and then, like, Monday came around and I didn't have to go to class, I didn't have any homework to do, that's when it hit me that I was like, "Oh my god, I'm done. Okay, it happened. Cool,
yeah,
cool."
yeah.
So, it's
It took
super weird.
it yeah, it took me a while because like I was just like sitting around like thinking about like work stuff or like whatever. I was like, whoa. I have a bachelor's degree.
Mhm.
I did college. I
Yeah.
graduated. Like I'm done.
Well, and, like, it felt weird for me, and I
Good.
was lucky enough to have my ceremony in person, so I can't even
Right.
imagine what you went through in December with, like,
I
literally
literally
opening
let
like,
me
shutting your laptop and being like, "That was my graduation."
right. Well, see, so in December, like I was finishing gives you a little pretext, a little context on who I am. I hate math credits, hate GE classes. They're stupid. I
Yep.
understand that they do good things for you, whatever. I don't care. I don't like
Make you
them.
well-rounded.
Yeah, whatever. That's bullshit, but whatever. And so I waited to finish my math classes until literally my last semester of college.
Mhm.
And so I was doing an online math class. I had finished all of my regular classes and everything already, but I had to finish that online math class. I literally finished it the Friday before graduation. Had nothing
Yeah.
else to do. I had been done for like a week and a half, but like I just hated it and just dragged it. But I finished it and everything. But no, and then like graduation was on Sunday. And since this was December 2020, of course, everything is still very much so closed down. Things are still in
Mhm.
place. We're not having in person graduations. So I sat in my living room on my childhood, like in my childhood living room on the couch with my dad, mom, brother, and both of my grandmas. And we watched my graduation on my laptop,
Mhm.
sitting in front of the TV because the Wi-Fi at my house is booty and we cannot get a Wi-Fi internet provider, so we have to use like a Verizon Wi-Fi box. And so we just sat there and watched it.
Yeah,
And
I can't
it's
imagine.
the hotspot
Cause
on my phone.
yeah, cause right now I'm kinda like, "Now what?" So
I
I can't
dressed
imagine
up,
after that.
right? I dressed up like and had my cap and gown on and my cords and
Mhm.
sat there and took pictures with my dog.
Yeah, so
That's
weird.
about it. I mean, we had cake and everything and
Yeah.
cards and stuff, but like I wish that I would have been able to be like in the shot or in
Mhm.
our stadium, but
Yeah.
they are having a graduation for us in August.
Which I think
So
is so weird.
I know. So Stanley like said that he's gonna go. So he's like, you should come. So I was like, well, I mean, if I know people that are going, then maybe I'll go.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm
Well,
like,
like,
I've already been
speaking
graduated for a year at this point. Like that's kind of stupid.
yeah, I've already moved
I've already
and
done this stuff. I
everything.
got a
Yeah,
job. I got a
yeah.
401k. I got a 401k.
My god. Well, like, speaking of math classes, like I said, I turned in my last assignment literally the day before, which is so weird how that works because I was like,
Fine.
how you know if I passed? Like, should I actually
True.
be here?" And it's like, 'cause, like, it was one of my goals to graduate cum laude, like, with honors. That was just, like, a personal goal of mine, not something that, like, I had to do, but wanted to that was a goal I set for myself. And I was like at the point where like I had to get all A's and one C or all A's and two B's this semester to graduate with honors. But I didn't know I had one final grade in out of five when I walked. And like I bought the honors cord and everything. And like when they like told us to stand up for honors, I stood up, but I was like, I
I
don't
hope
know.
so.
I don't know. And I got on yesterday and I ended up with a 4.0. So I
Hey!
definitely graduated with honors. I definitely graduated cum laude. But yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was like, how does that work? I feel like shouldn't all like I graduated Sunday. Our final grades weren't due until midnight on Monday night.
That's
That's weird.
weird. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. It was very
Mm,
strange.
very strange.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like our college experiences, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're kind of normal to some people, but also not normal to some people with us transferring and things.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's situation is different. Like, I feel like it's very hard to come by people that have the exact same story.
Right. I agree. Like, you never changed your major though, did you?
No, so I knew when I was a sophomore in high school that I wanted to be a journalism major, and I actually figured it out through doing parliamentary procedure and public speaking through FFA. And then I
Mhm.
also was on the yearbook staff my junior year. But in high school, that was the only remotely journalism. Like, we didn't have a newspaper, we didn't like have announcements in the morning, like we didn't
Yeah.
have anything journalism related. But yeah, I always hated math and science. I'm terrible at math and science. I've always liked writing ever since I was a little girl, and I like speaking to people, so it seemed like the perfect route for me.
Yeah.
Which it's so weird because I actually talked with our the journalism students at my our past or high school, our alum, and like they have fourth through sixth graders that have a newspaper staff, and like I was telling them how lucky they are to have these at such like the age that they are at, because I just kind of was taking a shot at the dark and was like, hope I like this. I've never had any experience with it, but I feel like it'll work. So like I just, oh my god, I would have loved to have a journalism class in high school just to like dip my toe in the water a little bit. And like when I went to Kent State, all of my classmates already had prior journalism experience through yearbook or a newspaper or even a full newscast that they did for their high school. And I was just like, oh, I'm just winging it and hoping for the best that I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of changed what I wanted to do. Because I mean, I started out at Wilmington College in Wilmington, Ohio, and the only reason why I went there was because that's where my brother graduated from. And so originally, when I was in high school, I thought that I wanted to be an ag teacher. I wanted to teach agriculture, have my own classroom, do the whole nine. And I went to Wilmington because they have a really good ag ed program. So I went there for a year and a half, was an ag ed major. What was I? had a humongous title. It was like I was majoring in agriculture and education. So I was double major with a concentration in agricultural communication and a minor in political science.
that's a lot.
That's too much. That's too much. And they were like, you're not going to graduate for 5.5 years. And that was also part of me being like out the door.
Yeah, no
And
thanks. That's too
um,
much.
yeah. And so I thought I wanted to be an ag teacher, went there, did like the early field experience and all that kind of stuff. Learned a lot, honestly, learned
Hmm.
a ton. And I enjoyed it, but I realized that that's not where I wanted to be and that I couldn't imagine myself being in a classroom for the rest of my life. So I think that I would have made a pretty decent teacher. I've been told that,
Hmm.
but I was just like, this isn't for me. And so when I decided that I wanted to change to agricultural communication, then Wilmington is starting to like bring up their AgCom program, and it's pretty good. The professor there that is in charge of it is amazing. But I just knew that honestly, I'd always wanted to go to Ohio State. I always saw myself at being at Ohio State, wanted to be in Columbus, and I knew people there. So like I wanted to do that. And so I applied to transfer at the end of my second semester at Wilmington, but I
Hmm.
didn't get in because they already accepted too many people within my major.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, maybe this is a sign. I need to hold out. I need to see where things go, kind of thing. And so I did. Well, it was like a month into the school year, and I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. I gotta go. Gotta
Hmm.
go. So I applied again, and then I heard back and got accepted like a week or two later.
Yeah.
And so then I transferred to Ohio State, changed my major to ag comm, and picked up a minor in leadership studies, which aligns a lot more with what I want to do. And I learned a lot. I wanted to, I mean, even after being an ag comm major, I even thought about changing my major again when I was like a junior. But at that time, they were like, "This is what you're gonna have to do," and I was like, too late because I have already invested myself in this too much. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, really, honestly, when you get into the job world, your major doesn't matter.
No.
It,
As long
as
as
long
you have the diploma.
as long as you have a piece of paper and a degree, you're
Hmm.
good. You
Yeah.
can shape it to however you want to do it. But overall, I'm glad I did it. I'm happy with my college experience, honestly. And I'm
Hmm.
glad that I ended up like changing my major because I would have hated my life if I was a teacher.
Yeah.
And they're undervalued and underappreciated. And I feel bad for them and I sympathize. And I think that we need to really reconstruct things within our country of being more supportive towards teachers
Hmm.
because they, I mean, honestly, like if you think about it, like teachers raise our children,
Oh yeah. I'm sure when
honestly.
my mom's a teacher, and I'm sure she's watching this, she's gonna be like, yes, Chris. Yes.
Yeah, so they need to be paid better and they need to be
Yeah.
valued better. But
Yeah. Especially in our rural communities. Oh my God, our teachers are paid
no,
shit.
yeah,
It's awful.
it's sad. It's
Yeah.
sad. And so, and that's like, and that's the thing is like we have some awesome educators, but we could have some amazing
Mhm.
educators if teachers were valued better.
Had the support that they needed. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know
Yeah.
people that would have been amazing teachers, and they were like, "I'm not going to be a teacher because that's not where the money is, and
Yeah. It's sad.
people are gonna treat me like crap."
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, and it's such a weird industry because, like, with my mom's situation, she's taught at our high school for 25 years now. So, like, she's at the point where she costs too much. So, like, even if she wanted to relocate, it would be really hard for her because they would rather take in somebody that's fresh out of college that has a lot less experience so they can pay them less. So like you
Right,
almost have this weird window of like figuring out where you're going to settle down at. Like you're like once you get past like 8 to 10 years, it's really hard to relocate.
right, yeah.
Which
It's
is
just
weird to me like cuz don't you
crazy.
want people with the most experience? Like don't you
You
want the
would
most
think,
qualified? Yeah, you
you
would
would
think.
think,
It's crazy how much money plays a factor into it.
yeah. And like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that was a factor for me. I didn't want to be underappreciated, undervalued, and underpaid.
Mhm.
Why did I want to do that?
A lot of under.
Yeah, a lot of under, not a lot of over.
Yeah.
So that was my sitch. But um I just another thing is like this is not degrading Wilmington College at all. It's a great institution. But like also there were not a lot of people there in
Mhm.
attendance. I mean 1100
It's a
people.
lot like our high school. A lot of people
It
from our
was
high school do go to Wilmington, so it is like a glorified high school
yeah,
experience, I think.
I felt like I was in high school again.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am not excelling here. I'm not growing like I want to. I'm not there are a lot of activities that I was involved in that were amazing,
Mhm.
but I knew that for me personally, I was going to have a lot more opportunities at Ohio State, and so that's why I
Yeah.
went that.
Yeah.
But so overall, I'm happy with my college experience. I best 4 years of my life, so
Mhm.
I think that it really did shape me and help me. I would not be living in Washington D.C. if I didn't have like a good college experience and I wasn't
Yeah,
able
for
to open
sure.
doors for myself at
Mhm.
all.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I mean, a lot of people know that Ohio State is one of those colleges that people see that that's where you went and you kind of have a higher status ranking just because it is such a good institution and it's really hard to get into. So that helps too.
yeah, and um, it's also just it's crazy because I I knew so I mentioned Stanley a couple times, but like his dad graduated from Ohio State and his mom.
Mhm.
So they both went to Ohio State. They moved to Virginia. They're here in the Northern Virginia area, DC metropolitan area. And they talk about like people like talking about like Ohio State and like stuff like that, but like I never really realized like how people's thoughts about Ohio State and stuff until I moved here. And the thing is like you hear a lot about people that are like, "Oh my God, you went to Ohio State." But the thing is they're also like they're like, it's actually a really good institution. Like, you're really lucky that you went to a really good school, kind of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, Ohio State was awesome. Great reputation, awesome place. Love them. Love Ohio State. Go Bucks.
same. It
Fulton,
was my second home for a very long time.
right? So I don't I don't have a complaint, really.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah,
yeah.
so my situation is very different than Chris's and very different than a lot of people's. My first 2 years of college were an absolute shit show, to say the least. I don't feel like I got the actual college experience until I became a junior, which really sucks because then the pandemic hit, like right when I felt like I was finding my people and getting into my groove. I decided to go to Kent State. I wanted to go I wanted to visit the University of Kentucky originally when I was looking at schools when I was in high school. And my parents were like, no, like there's a ton of good schools in Ohio. We don't want to have to pay out of state tuition. Like, find a school here. And I was like, all right, fine. So I picked the farthest school away and was like, all right, I'll go 3 hours to Kent State. Um, Kent State is a very liberal college. I didn't feel like I fit in at all. I definitely my political views lean more. I am more moderate, but I do lean more Republican. And I didn't feel accepted at all. Um, I knew by the time December came around that I was not gonna stay there. And my parents' like rule was you have to give it a year because my mom was like, college for every freshman sucks and is a big learning opportunity. Like you have to stick it out for a year. Unfortunately, I had a very unfortunate incident happen my first semester of college. I'm not going to give the details of that, but it was traumatic enough that I knew I wasn't going to grow there and that I needed to get out of that environment. I then made it my spring semester to where I only had in-person classes Tuesday and Thursday. So I would be home Thursday through Tuesday morning. I would literally drive up Tuesday morning, go to my math class, wouldn't have class Wednesday, would go to my journalism class Thursday, get out at 7 p.m., drive back home. So I literally was on the road so much that semester. And then at that point, my parents were like, all right, you're literally here 4 days out of the week and at school for 3. You've literally figured out how to commute to a college that's 3 hours away. Like, you're miserable. Go visit the University of Kentucky. And ironically enough, that's where my boyfriend at the time wanted to go as well. And so it was seemed like a perfect situation at the time. And we did end up living together. We decided that which I think I touched base on this in the first episode, but we were like, yeah, we're gonna be at each other's places all the time anyways. This seems like the most financially like best option for us. And then we broke up after the first semester. So then I lived with my ex-boyfriend for 5 months as a sophomore. And I was a transfer student, so I felt like socially I was a freshman. So it was hard. Like, I mean, I had dated him for 4 years, so I felt like my entire like core of my life just was in shambles. And then I was also trying to stay on top of my journalism classes and figure out how UK does things compared to Kent, but then also trying to create a social life and create friends. And then I was lucky enough my junior year, I got on Facebook and I needed a place to live and I wanted to live with girls. My parents and I, all three, didn't think that I should live alone with everything that had happened. So luckily, I was a complete random. My roommates took me in, and it's been amazing. I truly think that I was meant to find them. I was meant to come across their Facebook, and we were meant to live together because they truthfully saved me during one of the hardest times of my life. But yeah, it's just interesting. And then it's funny because the first 2 years were rough, but like because of living with my ex and everything, that was when I came to Ohio State a lot. We have so many memories from that semester of me being up there all the time. So it's just something that like there's good and bad in everything. You kind of have to be glass half full in college because it's such a big learning experience. Like, shitty stuff is going to happen. Not everything is going to go your way. So it's one of those things you just kind of have to take the cards that you're dealt and make the most of it.
No, I agree. I really liked what you said about like being the glass half full. Because honestly, like, college is so fun and it's such a good experience if you make it a good experience.
Yeah.
And so, like, I mean, for me too, similar to you, like, I social status wise, I felt like I was a freshman. I was
Hmm.
what, almost halfway through college. I mean, I ended
Yeah.
up staying an extra semester, but I was like halfway through college and I started at this new university. Luckily, though, my friend Ryan from Wilmington transferred to Ohio State and the semester before I did. So he had already had a community of people who knew somewhat of the ropes. And so I was able to move into my fraternity house and I was able to make those connections and make those friends. And then that first semester I rushed and I made more friends, and then Ryan introduced me to more people, and then like I started actually like making friends in classes, making friends by myself and everything. So kind of like what you said, it's I mean, it's hard to be a transfer student. Like you're trying to
Hmm.
navigate like a whole entire new place of like what you're not used to, especially when I'm jumping from like having 1,200 people on campus to having 65,000 people on
Yeah.
campus.
Yeah.
So that was a big
Hmm.
whoa, like
Yeah. Well, and for
moment.
me, the low was like I had never lived 3 hours from home before. And plus, on top of being at a D1 college, I mean, we come from such a small hometown that, yeah, it's a culture shock to be
Mhm.
surrounded by so many people in such a small area.
Right. Well, and that like especially that too, like culture shock. I mean, I didn't really have a lot of culture shock when I went to Wilmington. I mean, I
Hmm.
did because I was living in dorms that didn't have air conditioning and like
Yeah.
all that kind of
Yeah.
good stuff. But when I was at Ohio State, I was in Columbus, where like you and I, we grew up like what, 25, 30 minutes ish from Columbus. So like we would go to Columbus all the time. High school, we were there at least 4 times a week. And
Hmm.
so we were like, but I never really was like, oh, like I'm gonna live here someday. And then like get in, like indulge yourself and like jump into like the culture of just Columbus in general. Because I
Yeah.
mean, the university smack dab in the middle of the city. So gotta venture around.
Yeah, which I mean, lucky for you, like we grew up going to Columbus to go to movies, to go to dinner. Like you did know the like Columbus area a little bit. I moved to a brand new city. I had never been to
Yeah.
Lexington, Kentucky. I had been here to go to football games with my boyfriend in the past. Like other than that, like I had to learn a
Yeah.
completely new city. I had to figure out like what's the best Chinese food and where's the Mexican place I should hit up. Like yeah,
Mm.
it's like literally took me I feel like just now after 3 years of being here, I have figured out like I don't need like my GPS to get everywhere anymore. If you say a name of a street, I know where it's at. If you say where this place is, I know where it's at. And I'm like, oh, now I might be leaving. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like,
I
well,
mean,
that sucks.
honestly, like I'm going through that right now.
Hmm.
Like
That's true.
with just moving here in November. Today, I want you to be proud of me, Colleen. Today,
Okay.
I picked up Stanley from work
Hmm.
and I drove from my apartment to, he works in Rayburn, which is by the US Capitol building, no GPS.
Nice. Yay.
And I drove all the way from there to his parents' house in Falls Church, no GPS
Beautiful. We
and
love
no
to see it.
help.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was like,
proud of you.
wow, I'm getting the hang of this.
Yeah, because like when I was there in January, you were like, someday I'm gonna be able to go and pick this boy up without having to turn on my GPS.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm proud of
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
But, so I can't relate to that with college, but can definitely, especially like here, we actually people actually use the public transportation systems.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I use the public transportation systems. I have never, so in Columbus, they have the Coda buses,
Hmm.
which is their public transportation. I've never used a Coda bus, but I've definitely used the metro here. I have to.
Yeah.
So that's also like part of it too. And I mean, I mean, if you think about like people who go to like NYU and things
Hmm.
like that, like they got to navigate New York City, like Manhattan.
Yeah. Ah.
That would give
Yeah.
me anxiety.
Yeah. Well, and like you said something about being in the dorms and stuff and like learning at campus and everything. And like,
Mm.
oh my god, living in the dorms sucked. It did.
That was
It did
awful.
suck.
Awful.
But like I would go back to it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it was such a simpler time. Like you're so just like naive to the world that you're in and trying to figure it out and trying to figure
Mm,
out like the college campus where your classes are and everything. And like I want to say that like don't be so nervous about it if you are going into college or, you're a freshman. Like, you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure out where your classes are at. You're going to get into a groove. It's a big culture shock at first, but before you know it, you're doing the damn thing, and it's not as scary as what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And also, like, something in Ohio State that we always laughed about was we always thought it was so funny when you would see this person holding their phone with their map on and trying to navigate campus. Because the thing is like people are gonna laugh at you and say things, but like they've been in the same shoes as
Yeah,
you.
and that's why you're
I
laughing,
did.
because it's nostalgic in a way, because you're like, oh, I remember when I was a freshman and I was doing the same thing.
Little baby.
Yeah,
Little
yeah.
freshman baby. Yeah. I know. I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and we were talking about like living in the dorms and stuff actually. And my friend Trisha and I, like you get so close with the people in the dorms because you
hmm
see each other
Yeah.
all the
Well,
time.
like my
And
friends like that I lived with at Kent State, I still talk to them. Like that we're still good friends, even though I don't go to school there anymore.
right, that's how I am with, oh, you don't go to school anywhere, honey.
That's fair.
But no, I'm really good friends with like some of the people from Wilmington still and talk to them. And I met them because I lived in the dorm. I
Same.
hated living in the dorm,
hmm
but it was great. And like I said, no air conditioning, so that kind of sucked.
Yeah. Well,
And
if you go to
no
UK, I did.
showers and all
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I hated I didn't have, I like, we didn't share them, like, with, they weren't co-ed, but oh my god, yeah, having a caddy and having to go
Yeah,
down to the showers and hope there's a stall open, oh, that sucked.
yeah.
But if you
We
go to
didn't have
UK,
we didn't have co-ed showers though.
no, neither do we. But yeah, if you go to
Okay.
UK, you get a Tempur-Pedic mattress and granite countertops in your own
You know,
bedroom.
you know
So,
what?
and that's
Privilege.
like, that's not the experience.
No, that is not the experience. You
No.
gotta live in a shitty dorm like the
Yeah.
rest of us. It's gonna suck.
And it feels like a
But
jail
it's
cell because it's literally a cube.
literally a cube with cement block.
Yeah.
But it's still I had fun.
Yeah.
But like I like some of us would be like, why not pull an all-nighter? Let's go do
hmm
something fun. And we drive to
hmm
McDonald's at 3 a.m., sit and talk forever for
Yeah. It
hours.
it was so cool. You were bored, you just opened up your door and walked down the hall. Like, it was
Literally.
so
So
convenient.
convenient.
hmm
Mhm. I had so much fun. I miss those. Those were so much simpler times.
I
It
know.
was. I didn't have a care in the world. I was
No.
like, gonna miss class in the morning? It's fine. I really don't care. Because also it was just like, I'm a freshman. People are give you ease when you're a freshman.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, and it is really nice, like when you become a junior and senior and all of your classes start to be in the same building and you're going to the same
same
portion of
people.
campus every day, and like your circle becomes smaller. Yeah.
Same.
I really, my junior year was probably my favorite.
I think I think my junior year would have probably been my favorite. I would say, yeah, I would say my junior year or the
hmm
beginning of senior year. I had so much fun. I
Yeah.
also just when I lived in like my fraternity farmhouse for what, 3 semesters,
I
and
think so.
then like Stanley and I moved into the apartment. I loved living living in a frat house kind of sucks sometimes because it kind of reminds you of a dorm,
Yeah.
but like you get super close with people, so it doesn't really matter. You have people to hang out with all the time, but then
And like
also like, you want to
you're
get stuff
literally a
done. It's also
family.
like, right, yeah, and especially like I think that some people, which I'll talk about this like in a little bit more about like fraternities and stuff like that, but people like talk a lot of crap about fraternities and stuff, but like at the end of the day, I would do anything for any like my fraternity brothers. Like we are a family and like we
hmm
genuinely care about each other and like want to know how we're doing and stuff. And we always have somebody to go do something with
Yeah. Yeah.
and stuff. There's always something fun going on. We had a sand volleyball court, do that stuff. We had grills, like, it was fun. It was a good experience. But um with when I moved into the apartment, that was probably the most fun that I've had in college
Yeah.
because I felt like an actual like adult. Like I felt like I
hmm
was like easing into adulthood, but wasn't fully there yet.
Yeah. And like you have your
And
own space.
had my own space. Like we did whatever we wanted.
Mhm.
Like we were like, oh, not doing anything on Wednesday. Do you have class tomorrow? No. Okay, let's do something fun, kind of
Mhm.
thing. And yeah, it was nice. And then game days. I miss game
Yeah,
days.
I miss game days too. Yeah. Well, and like I had no interest in joining a sorority. Um, I don't know, it was never my forte. I think I mentioned that in the last video with Kat. I
Yeah.
thought about it for a little bit, but I was like, nah, I'm not really into it. Um, but with Chris being in a fraternity and me being up there all the time, we went to formals together. I went to two of the farmhouse formals, and then all of my roommates were in Delta Zeta. So I felt like I lived the sorority experience through everybody
Vicariously through
else.
everybody else.
Yeah. Well, and then I lived my junior year, I lived in a house with four other girls. There was five of us. So there was always stuff going on. So there was never a dull moment in that house.
Yeah. I so I don't know. I never like in high school or like the beginning of college, I never really saw myself joining a fraternity.
Mhm.
Especially like there I think there was only like one national fraternity at Wilmington, and I was
Yeah.
just like not interested in any of the ones there. And so like that was my only, I mean, besides like movies and stuff, like that was my only like experience with
Yeah.
fraternity. So I was like, I'm not interested. I'm good. I got friends. We're good. But then I went to Ohio State and like was introduced to like what their culture was like and everything. And I was like, wow, like I really like this. And like this is a really big opportunity for me
Mhm.
to grow a bigger network and
Yeah.
to meet more people and potential job opportunities.
Yeah.
There are multiple people that like I have come into contact with through my job now that like I had met through Farmhouse and
Mhm.
stuff. So it was really cool. Also, there's just so much fun stuff that you do. And like
Yeah.
some people complain and say like you pay for your friends. Like that is not true. Like you
Mhm.
pay for the experience and you pay for opportunities and you pay for this network and like it really helps you establish yourself before you graduate and actually got to be an adult like full time kind of thing. But I had so much fun like with my fraternity. It was awesome. I had
Yeah.
a great experience. I met people that like will be in my wedding. I met people that I'm going to be
Mhm.
best friends with until the day I die. So
Yeah. Well, yeah,
it
it's
was
because for
awesome.
you, you just kind of fell into it. Like I remember you calling me and being like, I think I kind of want to join like farmhouse fraternity. Does that like is that weird? Like is that something
Yeah.
that like I should do? And I was like, yeah, that seems up your alley. Like, yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I mean, I created so many friends through your friends through you being in a fraternity and everything and have so many memories because of that. So
Right. Yeah.
everything works
And
out the way it's supposed to for a reason.
right. Well, and also people probably like farmhouse. Oh my gosh, what is this yeehaw redneck big truck kind of gang thing? But no, so farmhouse, we actually at Ohio State, it used to be Alpha Tau Zeta, which, fun fact, was started by Alpha Zeta, which was the first fraternity established ever.
Hmm.
And then it was agricultural, turned into Alpha Tau Zeta, which was agricultural, which is what the fraternity was at Farmhouse. And then they merged with Farmhouse, became Farmhouse ATZ. And um, it actually, fun fact, Kat's dad was a
Hmm.
member of the fraternity when he was at Ohio State. So that's kind of cool. Her dad
Yeah.
and I are fraternity brothers. But it really helped me grow as an individual, especially with like different conferences and stuff like that. And we did not have all ag majors. I mean, Stanley was a public affairs major, Jace was accounting.
Yeah.
Um, we had people who were poli sci, we had people who were astronomy, like
Hmm.
different stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like we I like to view us as the professional young professionals that are interested in ag in some sort of way or connected to
Yeah.
ag in
So
some
it's
sort of
funny because that's actually something that I was about to touch base on because I got to experience farmhouse at Ohio State, but I also am good friends with farmhouse people at the University of Kentucky. And it's
way.
very interesting how they are the same fraternity, but like they're two completely different worlds. So yeah, at Ohio State, you guys were kind of more polished, like not all in ag, like just kind of there for the experience. And then what's interesting to me is like here at the University of Kentucky, like our farmhouse is more like AGR at Ohio State. Like they're kind of flipped.
Mhm.
So it was interesting for me to then move here and become friends with them. And I was like, oh, this is like yeah, like I have a bunch of friends at like farmhouse at Ohio State. And but yeah, it's a completely different world. So like just
Yeah,
because you hear something about a national fraternity like on social media or something doesn't mean that it's like that at every university.
right, exactly. And I mean, it's the same way for sororities too.
Yeah.
Exact
I
same
feel
way.
like FIMU at every college is different.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I so an agricultural sorority at Ohio State is Sigma Alpha. Completely different at like different universities. I've met other people from Sigma Alpha people. I've met Sigma Alpha people from the UK, like
hmm
completely different. And I mean, it's the same for like Kappa Delta and
Yeah.
Tri Delt and like all of them.
hmm
So yeah, but overall, I mean, everybody has their own like opinions like on if they want to join a fraternity or sorority, and but I would encourage people to get involved in Greek life. Greek life's fun. I honestly think, Colleen, if you would have really got like a little bit more exposure like early on, then I feel
hmm
like you would have liked it.
Well, like
But
I want to push that like don't feel like you have to join a sorority or fraternity to
no,
have a social life on campus.
yeah,
Like if
yeah.
you put yourself out there, you talk to your classmates, like you're gonna make friends.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, at Wilmington, I had an amazing social life and
hmm
I wasn't in a fraternity
Yeah.
and stuff. I mean, you just have to put yourself out there, go explore things, go
hmm
experience life, go have fun, go to the
Yeah.
bar, go hang out with people, join clubs, like
Yeah.
do other
Get yourself
things. But yeah,
involved.
get
Yeah.
yourself involved. Yeah. That's what more toward more towards the end of your college career, you're going to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. And you don't have to. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And don't be as
Yeah.
involved as what you are. You got to focus on yourself. You're about to
Yeah.
leave. You need to go spend more time with those people that you're not going to see, like
hmm
and stuff. But you meet those good people through doing cool stuff like clubs and organizations and stuff like that.
Yeah. And like it's funny because like you almost start to have like different groups. Like I definitely have like my journalism classmate friends, but then I also have my roommates, but then I also have like my like social going out friends. So
Mhm.
you do start to have like different groups and like they don't really ever collide.
It's weird how that happened.
Depends. Yeah.
Yeah. I I'm always the type of person that I like all my people close, so I always integrated everyone.
Yeah, which I feel like is easier to do like if you're all like in a fraternity, if you're all
Mhm.
in the same thing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's
And like, I mean,
interesting.
I brought you into the groups.
hmm Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and that's like how it is like here. I mean, I have like work friends. I got
hmm
friends from home, Rachel, who's also a coworker, but also have Stanley, who's like a friend from college,
hmm
and like Bailey, who's another friend from college and stuff. And like this past weekend, we were all together.
Yeah. It's so cool
Weird.
when that happens though. It
It's
is
really
weird.
cool, but it's also like, this is
All
weird.
of my worlds are colliding.
I know, and I don't know how I feel about
Well, and it's
it.
one of those things that like, especially when you introduce people and like you like they've heard you talk about them, but they've never actually met.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like I know you, but I don't.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of weird.
hmm
But I am thankful though that like Farmhouse had a formal for you to come and experience with me.
Yes, I went to two, and one of them was actually in Kentucky.
Yeah, and you drove over from college.
Yeah, they all
Yeah,
had a 3 hour drive. I had like a 45-minute drive.
I know. It's like screw you.
Yeah.
No, because the first one we went to Gatlinburg, which I felt like we
Mhm.
were in the car more than we were at the formal.
We definitely 110% were.
Yeah, and then the second one was in Kentucky.
At the Red River Gorge.
We didn't go together that year though.
No.
You went with Jace,
Yes.
and then I brought Sydney. And that was my 21st birthday.
There are stories that shall not be heard from that weekend.
Stories that do not need to be ever talked about ever.
Yeah. That was such a fun weekend though.
It
It was
was
really fun.
great. People
Yeah.
brought me cupcakes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it was nice because like because the drive wasn't that bad, I actually felt like we had a trip. Like we actually had an experience.
It was
Yeah.
nice. Jace, because went with you, and so Jace, Sydney, and I road trip down.
Yeah.
It was fun. He worked at a pizza place in London, in Columbus, Brenn's. So if you
Mhm,
live in Columbus, Ohio, check out Brenn's Pizza because it's actually really freaking good. And
mhm.
he bought us pizza, and we literally just munched on the way down.
Yeah.
Was- But yeah, I had a lot of fun. And I
Mhm.
mean, honestly though, like the Tennessee one was fun.
Because it was
That's
so
where I met my
chaotic.
friend. What?
Because it was so chaotic, that's why it was fun. Because we were
True,
so like go, go, go.
true. Um, but then that was also when I had my kidney stones.
Mhm. Kidney stones.
Okay, friends. But yeah, so that was
That was just interesting. You were a sophomore and I was a freshman. I was still at
that was
Kent.
2018. That was my first semester at Ohio State.
Mhm.
And
Yeah. Oh my God, we were
I
babies. I'm gonna have to insert some pictures from that weekend. We
yeah,
were babies.
babies. And I I got like a sharp pain in my stomach. And
Mhm.
I was like, this hurts so bad. Like, I don't know what to do. But then, like, it kind of just went away. Well, then I woke up one morning and it hurt so bad and I threw up 16 times.
Mhm.
And so then I
It
called
was
my
bad.
dad. I'm screaming on the couch in my fraternity house. And my dad, I'm calling him every 3 minutes because I'm like, it hurts so bad. I need you to get here right now. And so then he ended up, we didn't even go to the hospital then. He took me home. I felt better. And I went back. And then, like, 3 days later, I called Ryan and was like, I need you to take me to the hospital.
Yeah, I remember
I,
that.
I need to go. And so then realized that I had kidney stone,
Mhm.
and that was awful.
Yeah, I can't
And
imagine.
well, because you came and visited me like right after I realized and everything, once I started like actually like kind of going to classes,
Mhm.
and we went to that weird Roosters in German Village that we talked about.
Yes. Yeah, that was
And
sketchy.
yeah, and then we road tripped down to Gallenberg, and I passed the kidney stone at formal.
Mhm. What a fun time. And we slept on cots.
We slept on couch until the chef left,
Yeah.
and then we stole the king size bed.
We swooped. We swooped in.
We swooped it. But yeah, no, formals are so fun. A lot
Mhm.
of things that you do not talk about afterwards.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that I like that that was a part of my college experience, even though I wasn't in a sorority. I'm glad that I'm able to say that I experienced two formals because they were so much fun.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun, and everybody was so yeah, welcoming,
Yeah. Mhm.
and accepting. And they at that by the time the second one came around, everybody freaking knew you.
Mhm. Yeah, it
Everyone.
was fun.
And it
Yeah.
was funny because it was an ongoing joke that like you would be the like fraternity sweetheart if you would go to Ohio
Yeah.
State.
Yeah. Which fun fact, I almost went to Ohio State twice.
Yeah, that
Didn't
is
happen.
true.
Yeah, I didn't get in the first time because like I was trying to go after Kent straight to Ohio State and my college was full. So then I was like, all right, do I want to go to Columbus State for a semester? What do I want to do? And then I also decided to go to UK. And after my boyfriend and I broke up, I was like back to Ohio State. And my parents were like, no, you're not transferring again. So
You got accepted.
I did get accepted the second time. But yeah, I literally had to make a PowerPoint slide to convince my parents to let me transfer to UK. There
Yeah,
was no way, which like looking back now, I'm kind of glad that I didn't, that I stayed at UK because I got to live the best of both worlds. I had a whole social life and friends at Ohio State because of you, and then I had my whole own social life at UK. So I think it all worked out the best. I think I got the best of both worlds.
yeah. Overall, college was awesome. I miss college
I know
a lot.
like it's hitting me that I'm sad. Like
Yeah,
I'm never gonna get this
it
experience
doesn't get better.
again.
It doesn't get better.
I know, I know. Well,
I
like, and even if we go back for our masters, it's not gonna be the same because we're still gonna have to be working. We still have adult responsibilities at that point. Like, be you can't get away with as much as you could during your undergrad.
yeah, I agree. But also college isn't for everybody. I mean,
Hmm.
I of course I would encourage people to go to college, try it
Yeah.
out, do something fun. It's fun, but also don't feel obligated. If that's not what your
No.
career path is, don't do it. Neither of my
Yeah.
parents went to college and they did great.
Yeah. My dad didn't go to college. A lot of his side of the family didn't.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm glad that my mom did because she wrote like stuff that my dad didn't understand. My mom was like, "No, it's fine. Like, I understand. This is how it is. Like, she's on the right path. Like, this is okay.
Right.
Yeah, but and like personally, I hate school. Like, I'm not a school person. I hate studying. Like,
Mhm.
I hated high school so much. I was a very average student in high school because I didn't care enough to try to have all A's. And it's funny because now that like I have found what I think my purpose is, and I have found that like being a journalist is what I want to do. I've been on the dean's list, and I've had a 4.0 my last 2 years of college, and like what like and not I didn't kill myself to make that happen. Um, so yeah, don't feel like you have to go. Like, you can definitely be successful. And it's funny because I feel like, I mean, if you look on TikTok and everything, I feel like college is almost kind of being phased out in a way. Like, people are like, this is overrated. Like, you can learn anything from YouTube. There's like so many certificates you can get. Like, Google has so many programs that you can learn stuff. Like,
Mhm.
there's so many good tech schools out there too that you can go for 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe don't put yourself 4 years in debt if you don't have to.
Right. Exactly. And it's not for everybody. It's a good experience, but if that's not the path that you want to go down, don't do it.
Hmm. Yeah. And like, don't be afraid to transfer too if you're like, if
Oh
you've
no.
been there for a year. Like, I've always said at Kent, I think I would have gotten a better education than I did at UK. But for me, UK, like was so much better for my mental health. So like that's something that you have to prioritize too, that like your mental health could become more important than your education.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it like you said, it's okay to transfer. It's like some people may have different opinions, and like I felt like there was such a stigma
Hmm.
around transfer students at Ohio State that I was like, really?
Yeah.
But I mean, you fit right in. After a while, people are gonna forget. People forgot that I transferred, and you, especially like Colleen said, go somewhere that you're gonna be happy. Go somewhere that
Hmm.
you're gonna get a good education and somewhere that you're gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the
Well,
day, that's what matters. And honestly, I mean, of course, the name on the degree is gonna hold somewhat of influence, but like it's not gonna hold everything. You're gonna be
yeah.
able to like help yourself. You're gonna grow. You're gonna get yourself that job. You don't need to have you don't need to have the Ohio State University behind it. You don't need to have the University of Kentucky behind it. Like
Hmm.
it can be a community college. It can be like a D3 school. It can be anything.
Yeah.
As long as you like are happy with what you're doing, and if you but that's the thing too, is I feel like so much now, like there's like I feel like college is becoming like a kind of thing, but also at the same time, it's not, because I feel like you have to have a master's to be able to be successful now.
I
Like
know.
you
It's so
don't, you
annoying.
don't, you don't. But
No.
like in order to get to where like I want to be and to where you want
Hmm.
to be, we're gonna have to.
I know. We're gonna have to go back.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, I'm not ready. I can't do that yet.
No, I
Yeah.
don't want to think
Well, and
about
like
it.
I want to elaborate that like you can be at like Harvard, Yale, you can be at some of the best institutions in the country, but like if you're miserable, then you're not going to perform well. If you're miserable and depressed and your mental health is failing, then you're not going to get the grades that you need. It's just that's how it is. It's
You're gonna end
inevitable.
up dropping out. You're gonna end up
Yeah.
dropping out, or you're gonna end up literally having a miserable four
Mhm.
years and not doing anything about it.
Yeah, if not more. Like I know people that have transferred, it took them transferring 3 times before they found their home.
Hmm.
So
It
you gotta do what's best
happens.
for
And I
you.
mean, people like can judge and whatever, but like, you know what? Who cares? At the end of the day, who cares? Do what makes
Yeah.
you happy.
Yeah, which like it does suck because lucky for us, both of our parents saved up when we were little and paid for our tuition. We are extremely, oh my God, I can't express this enough. We are extremely fortunate that we are coming out of our undergrads with zero debt. Like, I cannot thank my parents enough for that. I praise the people that are taking out student loans. They're working a full time job plus taking 16 to 18 credit hours of classes. Like,
Mm,
there's no way I could have done it. No way.
no. I I mean, I understand people who do that and everything. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, I worked a little bit in college, mostly like it was for internships for college for credits and stuff
Yeah, I
like
did it
that.
for the
And
experience, not for the money.
right.
Yeah.
And so I am grateful for those opportunities and those experiences. But to have to work all the way through all of college and everything, I would have died. I would,
Yeah.
because I just felt like you wouldn't get like the amount of like the good experience that you wanted. But like, I mean, also like some people have to do that, and props to you.
Yeah.
Doing better than I did. I didn't like
Yeah.
I mean, I worked a decent amount, because I wanted the experiences and stuff, but I made
Mhm.
sure that I had enough time to do all the fun things that I wanted to do.
Yeah, yeah. Which, like, yeah, one of my roommates, I mean, yeah, she worked all through college, and
Mm.
her parents helped her, but she provided for herself for the most part. And like, oh yeah, she would get off work and like meet us at the bars at midnight. Like we get off work at 11:30 and meet. I was like, how do you? And then get up the next morning and do it all over again. I was like, how? When do you sleep? Like, when do you
Um,
do homework? Like,
no, I could not.
yeah,
Could
time
not do it.
time management is definitely your best friend. If you do not know time management coming into college, I promise you will learn it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
a
That
hundred
was a
percent.
huge thing for me. I feel like that was something our high school didn't prepare us for very well. Um, but yeah, oh my god, yeah, that's huge. Especially like for me, for in my field with being a journalist, I have a lot of strict deadlines. So school really taught me that okay, I have 20 minutes. I need to complete this interview and edit this in 20 minutes, stuff like that. Time
Mm,
management is huge. It helps so much.
Yep, I agree. All right, so we've had some good discussion about college.
Yeah, we hope you guys got some good advice, learned a little something. Hopefully you're a
Yeah,
little less anxious if you are going into college.
for sure. But it's game time. Game
As
time.
hands.
Just hands. Okay, so we are doing one of the kind of TikTok trends
Where
of,
it's like, describe me with pictures is what the trend is called.
yeah, describing the pictures. So we chose pictures for each other for our body type, personality, and mental health.
Yes.
So how do we want to do this? Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
All
So
right.
we'll do the body first. I have
Okay.
3 for your body because I couldn't decide.
I hate you.
So the first one is this minion character.
Why? Do I look like a thumb?
No, you're just not very curvy. Like you're just like solid.
No, I'm not curvy.
And then the second one is a joke. It's Chris Young, the country singer. Even
Oh
though,
my God.
even though y'all don't look alike, I thought it was funny. And
We
then
have the same middle and last name.
yeah, and then the third one is how do you say his name? Hold on. Dr. Doofenshmirtz off of Phineas and Ferb.
Why? I do
I
not
don't know.
like that.
I feel like when you're scheming a plan, you
Oh,
remind me of him.
well, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm nice. I only have one for you for the body, but it is a picture that is a guy and a girl sitting next to each other. It says 5'9" guys, 5'9" girls.
That's
uh,
funny.
who is this?
I have no idea.
I don't remember what his name is, but he's in like, what's the one where they like the brothers go to Hawaii, like get all messed up? You know what I'm talking about? He's in Neighbors, I think.
Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. Who's to say? It's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. I told him I was like, if you do a freaking gazelle or a giraffe, that's so easy.
Wow, ruined my plans.
All right. Do you want to go first with personality?
Yeah, so personality. This one, I thought this was funny because immediately when I think of you, I think of like creativity and like artistic and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So baby. So I thought, yes, let's be
That's
creative.
That's cute. I love that baby meme. That's funny.
He's like, "Mm." Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you're going to be offended by this one or if you're going to think it's a compliment. For your personality, I picked Donkey off of Shrek because one minute you're cracking jokes, the next minute you're yelling at somebody, and the next minute you're complaining in the corner. You're always all over the place.
You called me. You. This is your way of calling me a jackass.
You caught me.
Yeah. Extremely rude. I am offended. For your for your mental health, I chose a SpongeBob meme.
I
He's
almost did too.
sitting here with coffee, contemplating life.
That's
Because
facts.
I feel like you're always contemplating.
And I always
I
have coffee nearby.
That is also true. But Yeah, I just feel like you're always contemplating life, thinking about things,
Yeah,
always thinking,
always soul searching.
always soul searching.
All right, so I picked two for this one. This one, it's a meme of Ryan Reynolds, and it says me giving mental health advice, and then my mental health, and there's a car blowing up in the background.
Me, that is me. I give people so much advice, and
Yeah,
then it's time for me to ask for advice, and I'm like, where's the people?
shit. And then this is the other one. It says, my anxiety calling my other mental illnesses over so they can ruin my day and watch me suffer together. Everyone come and sit down. This is going to be so fun.
Yeah. Yep, that's me.
Oh, that was funny.
That is fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, great episode. Good
Yeah.
episode 4.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're excited because next week, like we mentioned, we're going to be together and
Yes.
we're going to do a little DC
I'm so excited.
walking around and taking pics and doing some fun stuff. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. It's definitely gonna be different than obviously what you've seen via Zoom, but I
Yeah.
feel like you're gonna be able to see our personalities better now that we're in person. I feel like we joke a lot more when we're in person.
Yeah. More
We
live.
definitely we get a lot more petty when we're in person with each other.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm excited.
me too. Unfortunately, I hate saying this again. Apple sucks. We're still having issues with Apple. I'm working on it. They're not accepting our artwork. It's been a pain in the butt. I check it every day. Like I said before, I apparently like their server's been having issues since March. So this is like a new issue. So we will let you guys know via the podcast and via our Instagram
Yeah.
when we are on Apple.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you can watch these video form on YouTube. You can listen on Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, Spotify, and Podbean.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Cool. A lot of other options. YouTube. See the video on YouTube.
Yeah, which I personally like the video form because we do our best to insert pictures and stuff of stuff that we're talking about. So you guys kind of get a closer look. We do our best to explain for the listeners, but yeah, come and like see photos and stuff on our video form.
Cool. Yeah. We appreciate you all. Thanks for listening. It's been awesome. Colleen, I'm excited to see you next week.
I know.
Good time. Good episode. Get 5 days off work.
I know. I will see you literally a week from tomorrow.
Crazy. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Since Easter. It's been almost 2 months.
I know. But until next week, thanks for listening. We appreciate you all, and peace and blessings.